everybody. It is Thursday, October 30th. I'm Jane Johnston. Welcome to the Greater Victoria Real Estate Show. Sorry. Today we're going to talk about financing, and I'm here with
Jen Lowe, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center, Modern Mortgage Group. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How is your week going?
It's been busy, very busy. Lots going on in my world. We're moving to a new office, which is exciting, in Langford. So that's great. And
awesome.
Changes in the interest rate world and lots of people keen.
So is your whole office changing, or are you changing to a different satellite office?
I'm changing. Yeah, where the office is still remaining at Uptown, but we've got a new office space that's opening in Langford. It's a beautiful office, so I'm excited to be now 2 minutes from home.
Where is it? Tell us.
It's just by the new Ford dealership and the McDonald's there off of Veterans Memorial.
Okay, right. Oh, that's super close to where you live. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
You can walk to work. Hey, yeah. Kayla and Everett, thank you for joining us today. Okay, guys. So we're going to talk about financing. A new rule's come up, which Jen's going to talk about today, but also a lot of people ask how to buy and sell at the same time. And I've been having this question a lot lately, especially because the market's a little slower. So how do we manage it? So we're going to talk about that today. So let's get started. Alrighty. So Jen, first of all, you want to give us an update on what happened, the great news this week? I think it's great.
It is great. Yes. So the Bank of Canada lowered the overnight policy rate by 25 basis points, which is 0.25%. So that's giving that policy rate now to be 2.25%. I follow, and Dominion Lending has, our chief economist is Dr. Sherry Cooper. So I follow her very closely and watched a podcast. So I'm going to just provide a bit of details that she provided to us. So she's highlighting that the 2.25% sits near the bank's estimate of the neutral rate, meaning that the policy is really not either strong stimulative or strongly restrictive, which is interesting.
So it's not, what she's saying is they're not looking to really have a course correction here. They're just trying to stop people because a lot of people are spending a lot of money on their mortgages.
Yes, it's a balancing act. There were definitely, we talked a couple of weeks ago with that we're starting to see those late payments that people are, getting into challenges making their mortgage payment as they are renewing. And so we're seeing, there could be, or there's signs that show that there could be an uptick in foreclosures.
Okay, we've been talking about this for a while, that it may be happening. And I guess some people, if they were smart during COVID, were saving money and maybe, but it's a long time to plan for this, and over time. Plus, it's been people moving from fixed rate to variable rate, or
or had a really low fixed rate at under 2%, and now their mortgage is up for renewal, and those payments are now going significantly higher. So then it's creating a cash flow crunch.
Okay, so what's a 5-year fixed rate right now?
I'm actually going to quote a 3-year because we're seeing 3-year rates come down. Right now we can get 3.79 to 3.89 for a 3-year fix. And then of course, with this change to the reduction in the overnight lending rate, that translates to a reduction in the bank prime rate. So we're now seeing the variable rates around 3.85%.
Okay. And so are those for primary residences only, or what about for people with investment properties?
That's we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a bit, because those rental investment properties are being looked at as higher risk. So more than likely, you're going to see a slightly higher rate for an investment property to mortgage that property.
Okay.
So actually go back to the last slide there too, just to chat about that. So this is, look at me, my windshield wiper. So what we're looking at here is that you can see back since 2023 how the Bank of Canada has increased the overnight lending rate, and how it has it's then maintained basically going through 2024 till about September, and then it started coming down, and it's been coming down throughout 2025, which has been great. This bottom part here, that the Fed cuts rates 25 basis points, that's referring to the US. And the US, we really honestly follow closely what the US does. So that is an important piece to keep in mind as well.
I find it very manipulative.
Yes, because there's also challenges. So going back to, with what Dr. Sherry Cooper was saying right now, I mean, we've got this unusual environment with the trade policy uncertainty, right, which is creating some uncertainty and some important need to create room for error.
I just want to say, bringing politics in a little bit, I read last night that BC, Washington State, and Oregon are working together on a housing policy to help house people, which is very interesting to me, because I think provincially and statewide, we are seeing a different level of discussion happening than we are on the federal level, which is a good thing.
Yes. So interesting. That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and our next decision.
The last meeting of the year is going to be December 10th. Current outlook is that they're going to drop again another 0.25 percentage point. So we'll see if that happens. Obviously, prior to December 10th, and throughout the month of November, there'll be some key stats provided, which could push the Bank of Canada to make a change to that. But that is the current outlook.
Okay, looking good. All righty. So let's talk. First of all, let's just talk about what we were going to discuss, which was, what's the new decision here regarding lending for rental properties? Tell me.
Well, it created a good conversation in my office yesterday, because I asked a couple other brokers, have you guys heard of this upcoming change? Actually, is there a slide?
No, there isn't, but I did.
Okay, that's okay. So what's potentially changing in 2026 is that there's going to be a new category when you're qualifying for a mortgage of income producing residential real estate program, I guess you could call it, which applies when you are trying to get a mortgage and more than 50% of your income is being generated from the rent. So lenders are going to be treating these loans as high risk, which will then create higher interest rates for those types of mortgages.
Sorry, is this a total rental property, or if you have a rental suite in your house, does that affect you at all?
I don't think so, no, because it's going to affect you if if you're purchasing a property and you're trying to qualify for the mortgage and you're really trying to use that rental income to help you qualify, and more than 50% of your income is derived from that suite, yes, it would affect. But it's more generated, these changes are more generated to, people that are looking to build a rental portfolio and are using the rental income really honestly to qualify for the mortgages. What's interesting though is already, I don't know how much of an effect this is really going to have, because already we're only allowed to use 50% of that potential rental income to qualify for the mortgage. So if we're looking to get a mortgage for $500,000 and we're saying that you're going to get a rental income of $3,000 a month, I'm only able to use $1,500 of that potential $3,000 towards the qualification. So I really don't think this is going to have a significant impact on a lot of people.
I thought that was dependent on the lender. Is it not?
Yes, it is, but it would take me a long time to go through all, because every lender, some lenders don't have to include the property taxes for rental purchases. What I think generally is that these guidelines, the lenders that we go to where they were able to use an rental offset versus an add back, and it's probably getting a little technical there, but their rules are going to be tightening to more like the lenders that we don't go to for rentals right now. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's basically the other piece that's changing is that lenders are apparently not going to be allowed to double count income, which this, like I was saying, created quite a debate in our office, and we were looking up, is this really actually coming into effect? Well, how could they even do this? And how are they going to be able to confirm if you're double counting income? Because you can't. If you're earning income and you are claiming that income on your taxes, that's income that you're earning. Why can't you use it to purchase another property? So it created a good debate anyway. So, because that is the other point of this OSFI rental income rule update.
So isn't it, so I don't know, I'm not a lender, but do they not look at your total income, and then they look at what you're earning, what you're maybe potentially earning from rentals, then they look at all your debt, and then they come out with a ratio?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't get this.
So
what's the problem here?
They're going to scrutinize more how they're calculating those, what they're willing to use income-wise. There is sometimes, even though I have the deal or I have an application looking great, it qualifies based on the lender's requirements. But they might come back and say, you know what, we feel like the client is too heavily reliant on rental income.
I don't disagree with that, because I remember in the early 2000s, when we had our last financial crisis, is people bought and then they were very dependent on the income. And my thought when I work with people is just like, that's bonus income. You should be able to afford your house without that.
Yes. And I think that's kind of what our regulator is trying to get us back to. My only argument to that, though, is what is our current vacancy rate? It is so incredibly low. Why are we not able to use more than 50% of that potential rental income too?
Why don't we incentivize owners to build or have suites?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
interesting. Yeah, I noticed that they're moving more towards to me, they're moving more towards a commercial ownership of properties as opposed, because this doesn't apply to commercial
Yes,
ownership, as
exactly.
opposed to private ownership of properties. And I will say that there are some people who are better at managing tenants than others. Some people just don't have it in them. And that's just the way it is. It's just they're just not you have to be a bit hard ass sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So stay tuned. It will be interesting to follow this and see what transpires. But yeah, it created a good conversation in my office for sure.
Well, I'm glad to be of assistance.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I have a question for you. I'm just going to add this here. Uh, One of the things that people do when they want to move houses is they have to obviously sell and then buy again, or they can, there's like three different scenarios. So one is they keep their current home and they buy a new home, which is what we were just talking about. That's means that they invest in a new property. The second is they sell their home so they know what they have in terms of cash, and then they buy. And the third is they buy knowing what they want to go into. And I do find with older people, they tend to like this strategy, but then they realize they have to go to number two, which is they have to know how much money they're getting in their home. So this is why it's really important to talk to your realtor before you buy and sell, because your realtor can tell you where the activity is happening, how your house ranks. So I think we were talking about this last week, but I have sort of gone through an epiphany that we're not just looking at value, we're looking at where your house ranks. Because if there are 20 houses on the market and you're at the bottom of that ranking, you're gonna be the 20th home to sell.
Mhm. Hmm.
Because people are looking for value when they're purchasing. They're trying to determine, when they buy your house, what other work do they need to do to get it ready? And
Okay.
so then as a seller, what you need to do when you talk to your realtor is not only look at the current value, but if you did some repairs or maintenance, or if you attended to your deferred maintenance, then where would the value be after that? So that's a really important perspective that a realtor can provide. What do you think about that?
I'm just curious. So when you say ranking, like what goes into determining that ranking? So if you're at the bottom of 20 homes, what would make you at the bottom?
So let's say your roof needs repair, maybe your paint is older, it's a different color than what's in style right now. Like in the 90s, we had a different color for every room.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe like you have pet smell, your appliances need to be upgraded.
Okay.
You have a lot of junk in your yard.
Okay.
How it appears. So if you were to look at two homes over, let's say we look at a neighborhood, Royal Bay is a great example. So all these houses were built at the same time, and you have somebody who takes care of their yard,
Mhm.
and they paint their front door a really nice color. They have beautiful art inside. They don't have too much stuff. It doesn't smell. These are all things that affect how a buyer perceives a home. So when a realtor comes in, they're looking at all of this stuff to see, uh, well, okay, where do you fit and what else is for sale right now? So, and this is why when people have a condo for sale and somebody sells low, everyone gets mad because they affect the value of
The other
the
ones.
other condos in the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah, and this is why staging works, because you're adding value to the home by presenting it in the best possible way.
Got you. Right on.
So, yeah,
Well, and definitely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
no, you go ahead.
In looking at those three different scenarios and kind of diving into those three different scenarios, that's what I love to look at and provide spreadsheets out the yin yang in comparing the numbers based on the 3 different scenarios. Usually what I recommend selling first and then buying, as that's the number one way that you know exactly the amount of money that you have to put towards your new purchase.
Right. Yeah. And this is where it's interesting, because I think the older people get, the less they're willing to compromise on what they want to move into. Like, they're more choosy. They know what they like.
Yes.
Somebody who's younger is more flexible, and they may be, okay, like, you know what, I may choose a home for its location, and I can work on the rest of the stuff, as like I can put on a new roof in 5 years, and we can reconfigure the 3 bedrooms back from the 2 bedrooms that the current owner has it in. That's
Mhm.
happened. And
Right.
then, yeah, and then but as people get older, I do find that they want something that is more done.
And that makes sense too. Yeah. And right now, I mean, there's lots of selection. There is lots of homes for sale.
Yeah. Are you finding with your buyers that they're getting money off on their purchases from the purchase price?
Yes.
Like, is the negotiating coming down?
Yeah. And deals, unfortunately, have been not necessarily proceeding because they've gone in subject to the sale of their property and they're not able to sell. And then someone else comes along and, makes an offer without that subject to sale and bumps them out. Which again, if you're selling first, you don't have to worry about that. You're not worrying about you're finding the perfect home and then you lose it. Because you don't know what you're getting from your sale.
Yeah. I mean, I know buyers, they love it because they love a subject to sale because they know what they're going to buy. They have their house on the market. But the thing is, you're dependent on a third party offering on your own home, and you don't know what that offer is going to come in at in terms of price. So unless you price sharply, and, where this is exactly where I'm saying, if you put your house at the top of that ranking, it is going to sell well. And we'll see in the stats that homes are still selling, but the question is, where are they selling and what is selling?
Right. Which changes all the time.
Yeah. So I always say, like, if you're not updated on the market every 2 weeks, you're totally out to lunch with what's happening. So what we want to do is we want to have the basically your foot on the gas and your foot on the brake. And what that means is that you're going ahead with the sale of your home while you're still looking for properties. And that can be challenging, but essentially you're keeping yourself apprised of what's going on so that when you do get an offer, you know which property you want.
Yeah.
You write that offer, and what we try and do is dovetail the dates. So Jen and I were talking about this a few days ago. What that means is that the closing of your house and the purchase of your new house actually match up.
Yeah. And you're very good at making that happen.
Yes. So, and what was interesting last week was, don't make your closing at 5 p.m. or your possession at 5 p.m. because of the moving trucks. They can't move after dark, right?
Yeah, that was a big learning point for me that I will watch for now when I'm looking at the times noted on the contract.
Yeah. So, just one thing for you, interim financing. How hard is that to get? So that's where you purchase. And I have a lot of clients who say, again, mostly older clients who are going to be otherwise cash buyers. They want interim financing. So maybe it's like 3 days or a week where they have time to move from their old house to their new house. How much does that cost generally per day?
Well, per day, it depends on whether or not, if a mortgage is going to be needed after the fact. If we're doing a mortgage we're just bridging the gap, and we need a mortgage at the end of the day. Interim financing is very inexpensive. Call it $100 a day per se.
Oh.
Less than that, actually, honestly. I'd say probably $70 a day on average. It depends on the individual circumstances, of course, and how much money we're needing to basically what you're financing. The amount that you're bridging is the amount that you need to complete the purchase, because you don't have the money yet from your sale. So it's whatever you need for that down payment and your closing costs. That's what we are getting financing for. There's definitely some lenders that are way better than others that have better bridge financing programs that are more inexpensive. Speaking to more elderly clients that may not need a mortgage at the end of the day, we are looking at more short-term financing that can be a little bit more costly, but still well worth it, as then it's giving them that peace of mind and not having to have that stress of moving and getting out of their home and moving into their new home on the same day or what have you.
Is it hard for an elderly person to get financing if they're not working? Can they rely on investment income?
Yes, most definitely. There's different programs, there's net worth programs. There's also reverse mortgages that are definitely something that really honestly are something that so many people are so like, oh no, I don't want a reverse mortgage, but they're done much differently than they were in the 80s. So
you're not going to have your house repoed.
You're not going to lose your house, and you're not going to end up not having any equity in your home. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you want information about how to bridge finance, which they don't call it anymore, interim finance, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They should connect with you.
The one key thing that a lot of people don't realize with bridge financing is you do have to have a firm sale agreement on your current home, meaning that you've got all the conditions have been removed and you've got a firm buyer for your existing home.
And if you're divorcing or separating, you need a separation agreement, right?
100%. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's just talk stats, baby. All right. Over the last 7 days, folks, we have had 227 new listings. That's compared to 241 for the week before. 149 have gone pending. And so actually that takes us to a 65.64% list to sale ratio. And price decreases were at 149. So we're looking at less listings coming on and more price reductions. So that's very interesting to me. And it's equaling the number of homes that are selling. So there's a bit of kismet happening. And expireds are 57. I know we expired and relisted a home at a new price. And we did that because we're looking to get more activity on it. And we have 499 sales for the month of October so far. So we are slower than last year where we had 654. I really felt last year we were ramping up and it was above average, I would say. And in terms of new listings total for the month, we're at 941. That's compared to 1,204 for October last year. And total active listings now, we're at 3,484. So we're a little higher than we have been in a while, which means our inventory, if you look at net unconditional sales and total active listings, so we have 6 months of inventory. We're in a buyer's market, folks.
Most definitely. Yeah.
All right. So it's a great time if you do want to get into the market. We're actually about to start a campaign for our team. We really think that there's opportunity out there. And anybody who's on the market right now is pretty motivated, I would say, to get their place sold. So go make those offers, folks, and let's make some deals.
You got it.
All right. If you like this program, please like us. subscribe to us. We are on YouTube now. We have our Greater Victoria Real Estate Show is on YouTube, so you can follow. Please comment on there. And don't forget to share. Go on there and share our show to people who may find it interesting. Andrew's away right now. He's going to be back in November. And if you want to reach him, you can at 250-360-6106. And he's available by email at info@andrewplank.com, and he is checking his email. And then, Jen, how do people reach you?
I am at 250-217-4925, and my email is jen@jenlowe.ca, and my website is jenlowe.ca.
Yeah, and if you need to reach me, I'm Jane Johnston. I'm with the Briar Hill Group. My number is 250-744-0775. My email is jane@briarhillgroup.com, and you can check us, me and Sean, out at our website at briarhillgroup.com. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_remax_Victoria. We are currently running this show every Thursday. Next week, we'll be doing a stats update for the month of October. And then in November, we will be changing our time, but you can always watch our show on YouTube. So we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great day.